Welcome back, ladies and gents. Today, we're going to be doing some sewing. We are going to be making some undergarments today. And I do have a couple. I got these ones and these ones. So we're going to start out with the dress. I won't be making the corset because they didn't wear too many of those in the Old West. So it was mostly like in movies and stuff like that, but they didn't wear them every day. That was more early on. And these guys, I'm going to modify a little bit. I did find some historical ones on the internet, and they were a little bit shorter. They had these ones, the ones that go up to like the knee, and I found some shorts too. Kind of the same design, but just different lengths. So we're going to try that. I'm probably going to do my own shirt. This one's a long one. And I found some other ones that I want to try. Of course, I'll probably be drafting those ones or just eyeballing it because they are undergarments. So they're a little bit more forgiving. So I already have cut out the pattern for this one. It is a little bit bigger than me. I couldn't find my size. So, but we can modify it. I've drafted my own patterns before. But I wanted to make some because I did run into the problem. Some of my skirts are see-through. So I can't wear them until I have an undergarment. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to use them as like sleepwear pajamas because they look cozy. And so we're going to make them to see if they are cozy. I'm guessing they will be. So, and I got myself some lace. I did want to get the like strips of lace, and I totally spaced it. So, but this won't be the only one I'm making. So, we got our mushrooms to hold everything in place, our lace, and then the fabric I'm going to be using is just like an old sheet. It's like an off-white color. So hopefully it looks like it's going to go together. Because again, this is another test one, and if it works out, I'm probably going to make the pattern a little bit thicker because this is my first one that's like a pre-done pattern. These are super thin. I'm afraid I'm going to tear them, which might end up happening. But we got the instructions. We're going to do some cutting and pinning. Maybe we'll get to the sewing today, more likely tomorrow. So let's get started and figure this out. Hopefully it got it.
Oh, I'm sure it did. Boys!
I definitely...
Oh, do I get bananas? Oh, I get bananas.
Mama, do you get bananas?
Those are concrete bananas, too.
Rude.
Oh, come show Mom all the dirt you just picked up.
Again? I cleaned her twice already.
Yeah, she made eye contact with me and did like the play pose and then started rubbing her face on her paws and just flopped into a banana.
So, ladies and gents, we ran into a bit of an issue. So, I looked up online trying to find how to do this pattern because it was kind of difficult. And there's a lot of unnecessary folding and sewing in places. And then another problem is this is supposed to be part of a border and it doesn't go all the way around. And I did all my measuring and everything right. So I'm not sure if it's supposed to like dip in somehow. I don't know. So I had a thought. And I think I'm going to go with that. So I am going to still use some of the patterns, just like the shapes. But I am going to do this the rest of the way my own way. So I don't have any pictures of them, and they're on Pinterest. So and I can't show you because copyright. Don't want that. So, but future me here, I found this book that I haven't used for anything, and so I figured I would use it as my drawing book for clothing ideas. And I already know how this undergarment is going to look, but I wanted to draw it out for all of you. And for future clothing ideas, I have somewhere to jot down my ideas. Alright, ladies and gents, I got everything pinned together. The top and the bottom. And this mannequin doesn't do it justice just because it is super tiny. So it's going to be bigger than this. So I had to makeshift some pins just to hold it on the mannequin, but it's going to be bigger. I am missing lace in the middle here, and in the bottom I do plan on putting some lace there, but I want to get it all sewn first. Make sure I get the right measurements for that. Where it is, because I'm just kind of eyeballing it for fun. And I need to put the end on the arms under them, but this is a bigger size of the mannequin, so I'll put that a little bit after. And then the ruffle is going to be looking better. Everything is just pinned now. So, but I tried it on and it is going to be comfy once all the pins are out. In the middle is where the buttons are going to go instead of lace. So, and even though I know I can do the buttons on the sewing machine, I love doing buttonholes by hand. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to find some shell buttons, hopefully. I have a couple of different kinds of buttons because authentically, buttons that were used in like the 1890s, 1800s in general, they first started out with like metal and wood, and then they went to Prosser buttons, which were really pretty ceramic buttons, and I wanted to get some, but they don't make those anymore, unfortunately. And they even had another popular one was actually plastic buttons, slightly different looking than the ones today, but there was plastic. And they used pretty much any kind of buttons. They were the most popular ones, though, were like the Prosser buttons, metal buttons. They had iron buttons. They used ivory, which we don't use anymore, and buttons. And it was shells, and I got super lucky in my stack of multiple buttons that I have. I found 2 shells. They're not, I don't think they're mother of pearl, but they are very pretty. And I decided to mix the 2 together. So I decided to go with 3 metal buttons because I only had 2 of the shells. But the two brown ones are the shell ones, and they are so pretty. The other pearl, well, shell ones, I don't think they're mother of pearl, but they are so pretty. So those are going to be my buttons. After everything is done, we're going to sew them on. So this is how it's going to look. And I think it's going to look nice. It's going to look unique. And I'm trying to make it as historical as possible. And I'm trying to... undergarments. It's been about 4 days and I've been wearing this at night, and it is very, very cozy. So yes, I would definitely, if you want to make undergarments or find some, because there are places that do make them, they're just kind of pricey, the old-fashioned way, they are very comfortable. I've been sleeping so cozy. And I am going to probably be this weekend testing it under a skirt too and see how that works. I think it'll work though because it's 2 layers, so you won't be able to see anything. But the only adjustment I had to do was I had to add a ribbon at the top just because this top part kept opening. So I did that. I just sewed it real quick. I just hand sewed it a little bit to the undergarment itself. And I just tie a little knot in the middle and it works great. When it's bunched up, it looks so cute. So I love it. It's comfy. And this is the first one I did. But yeah. And before we go, I discovered a really pretty, what looks like cherry blossom tree just outside of Saint Denis. So I thought it would be perfect for now because it is spring. So everything is blooming, even in Saint Denis. But thank you for watching. You know what? Thank you for watching. And don't forget to always be unique. Bye-bye.